Oh man, they don't call it Furahi Day for nothing, right?
No, they don't.
We are all very Furahid. We are seated down very calmly, but we have just wiped our sweat. The makeup artist has dabbed our powder.
I'm still dancing.
Yeah, but we're still dancing. We're still in that zone. Okay, so we know them very well, but you can introduce yourselves if you like.
Triple S.
Usually we call ourselves Triple S.
Yeah.
It's a group.
So now there's an E. Now what do we do?
So it's actually
Triple
like
S
a
and
private
E,
club.
genius.
There's a G.
No, he's just on S, by the way.
Yeah, he's an S, yeah.
Okay, so anyway.
We need to break it down for her.
It's a hot topics panel.
Sophia and Solo.
Our hot topics panel. And because I'm a rookie at this, I'm just going to wing it and we'll see if it works, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a look at the pulse. Stevens, what's in it today? Why should we have a copy of the pulse in our hands
A great
today?
cocktail that we have today as usual. Bringing you all the big stories of the week. Picking it from last week, all the big events that happened.
Yeah.
And well, all the gossip you had, just try to break it down and tell you what was true and what was not true. And telling you things you've never heard about. So basically, Pulse just pulsating.
Okay, can I just ask you a question before we start reviewing? Where do you get the gossip from?
I have a great team of 12 guys who are trained to do this thing, so yes. And many good friends, people who are out there just telling us, hey, guys, where are you now? We are seeing something going on here. And so basically, I think that's what you were born to do.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So let's have a look at possibly what was the biggest story on the continent. The Chomva. Wow. Channel O Africa music video.
And that makes our cover story today. I think we just jumped there. And this was on Saturday, and everybody was down South Africa.
Yeah.
The big stars were in South Africa, where we believe the biggest music show in Africa takes place annually. And we had two nominees, Elani and Sauti Sol, who unfortunately never made it. But again, ironically, on the same day, Elani were having their own big concert in Nairobi.
Yeah.
And we found that that was quite a twist. And part of Sauti Sol never went there, and there was a lot of confusion on
I remember Bien was not part of the group.
Yeah, he didn't go.
He did not.
He didn't make it to South Africa.
His papers did not actually allow him to get a visa. But the other three members were there, and they presented an award.
They presented an award, and they were not just there alone. I saw so many Kenyan artists down there in the pictures. We saw the likes of Victoria and Yvonne Dark. They were on the red carpet, and they think, no, girls came out to have fun. Yeah, but it was a big time for Diamond, who actually is cool.
Diamond is, I think to say he has exploded in the scene is just wrong. He is obliterating the scene.
Yes.
How many awards did he take home?
3 awards.
3 awards, yes.
This is him over here?
Yeah, that's him. Look, actually carrying everything.
He has all the 3 awards in
You know, he got the best Afro award. He got the best East African award and
most gifted newcomer.
And yes,
and most gifted newcomer.
He did. And
how long has Diamond been in the music industry?
Now, let's talk about 5 years. But
5?
that is when we have actively known him. But he's been in the music industry for quite some longer time than that. Yeah.
Have you guys seen that picture
of Diamond?
No.
She's looking at the
on
picture
the same
of
page.
Andrews.
It's not on screen. At the end, someone is trying to pull a Rihanna.
Yeah, well, that's another story that we'll get to shortly. But let's go back to Diamond briefly. Because this guy, what is making him such a success? He's got a very specific sound. It's very bongo. And he's singing Kiswahili, which you would imagine like half of the continent understands, but only a handful of nations speak Kiswahili.
Yeah.
But he's able
He's not so good in English, though. He's tried a couple of them.
Actually, the story is that his girlfriend, Muendo, is the one who taught him English.
And the thing about Diamond is his packaging, and which something we never used to experience with many Tanzanian artists. They would make a hit one day, be stars of 6 months, and they are off. But Diamond has packaged himself in a way that I know who I am, I know where I'm going.
He's really branding himself as a star.
Together, he has good managers who are putting his act together. And I think that's why Diamond is making it big. And unlike many Tanzanian artists who just look at Tanzania and say East Africa, Diamond has already spread his wings. We see him doing collaborations with Nigerians,
right now,
and many other guys, and everybody now accepts Diamond as a big star.
Okay, but then let's talk about those collaborations in East Africa. I saw Sauti Sol's Instagram page. It was filled with pictures with other different artists, from Tiwa Savage to, what's the name of the girl? Baby, you gon' love me sweet like tangerine.
That's Yemi Alade.
Thank you, DJ Genius. Of course, he's a genius.
and Yemi is right in the pictures actually there, and she had a great performance.
Yeah. And so, do we expect to see more collaborations? What do your people say? What do your sources say?
If you look at the guys who won the awards down south, are guys who have cut across. You don't just master a region like South Africa and stuff like that. And like you're saying, and that's what Sauti Sol are doing. They're no longer Kenyan artists. They are African artists. They have cut across. And if you look at their last win, everybody was voting for Sauti Sol from across Africa.
Yes.
And I think that's the future of music in Africa. Say showbiz music, as we would look at it as pulse. It's where everybody's going. We see many artists coming from South Africa nowadays, and we all know their songs when they come for blankets and all those other events, and I think that's the future.
Okay, well, that story is on page 10 and 11 of the Pulse to find out who the winners are. And I don't really think we should call them losers, because even just getting a nomination is such a
good
big
enough.
deal.
It's a huge
but let's talk about the fashion at this event.
Oh, yes.
Because, as Sophia mentioned, there's someone here who's trying to pull a Rihanna.
Two girls pulled a Rihanna there.
Yeah.
Shall we just explain what a Rihanna is so that we don't confuse people? Sophia, what's a Rihanna?
The opposite of what she is now.
A Rihanna is when you dress down in a dress that can show your blessings.
Like,
let's just say you're naked.
Is it very naked, really?
Let's just say you're naked, and then there's this net.
The fishnet.
Okay, so apart from those controversial dresses we're seeing on our screens there, just a few of the fashion looks that have been featured in the Pulse today. Are we seeing Africans wear more African designers?
Oh, I think so. And what most of these guys were wearing were guys they were dressed by their own designers, and it's something that is already speeded down to our local scene here. And the thing is how artists, they have managed to master the art of the red carpet now. We never used to see a lot of this. You used to wake up and say, oh, after all, I'm just going for an event, let me just pick whatever is clean. But guys are so cautious about...
But I think Africans, we've stepped up in the game, and we've even raised our bar a bit high in terms of fashion. We can be listed as any A-class in the world. Looking at the way people have dressed on the red carpet,
girl is killing it.
Very.
Who are you getting for? The floral.
Oh my God, gorgeous.
Look at AKA.
Yeah, I like AKA and the way he's dressed in the white.
Now, some of that I don't understand.
And green blazer.
The blazer.
Yeah.
Who is that?
That's AKA from South Africa.
Okay, but looking at that picture on your screens right now, which is what you have in your papers on page 7, where do you think the influence for African design is coming from? Are we registering our own thing, or are we borrowing still quite heavily?
No, I don't think we're borrowing much, because as I look at the main chick here, she's in Floro, and Floro is African, isn't it?
I don't think it's
not quite.
Isn't it like a green movement?
Mawasi meeting.
Mawasi Africa. I think they're borrowing.
So low. No, because the way you think that's African.
This is African.
No, this is African.
Yeah, he has an animal. It's an animal print.
Someone needs to take solo off.
You should learn to appreciate when they borrow from us and we don't even know. You understand? You see, like now they've adopted the Masai Kikoi, right?
But we don't see the Kikoi on the red carpet.
When I see the floral, I just see green. I just see the muru.
No, but hold on. Sophia is making a very important point here. She's saying we're not seeing the traditional African fabrics on the red carpet.
No. We need to accept one thing. You don't have to be so traditional to be African.
One is saying be traditional. Use the fabric.
I think we have
make
stepped
it
up,
contemporary.
and all these designs are African.
No, they're not, honey. But this could very well pass for an AMA Awards red carpet, other than this guy.
Yes.
All these other looks have been done
that's
before.
Casey from Nigeria.
Yeah, that's the only now what you
Nigerian,
see African.
the Nigerian
but the others,
attire.
Yeah, this guy, for the benefit of our viewers, this guy that we are referring to is the one you're seeing on your top left.
Top left, yeah.
He's wearing the traditional Nigerian. I don't know what it's called, but I think it's so lovely.
Yes, it is.
It's called Agbada something.
Agbada.
Would you wear one of those?
I think I'd rock.
I wouldn't mind this. I mean, it's looking cool. I mean, and I'm not scared of experimenting.
I think you're very fashion forward.
There's a guy who's not in those pictures. He's called Buffalo Soldier.
Buffalo Soldier from Ghana.
The guy was wearing this heavy jacket with fur and was looking like a real animal.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want that to be the real African look, solo, I
think we have the ability to dress like that if we want to, but we have already raised the bar high, and now they're borrowing from us.
Okay.
This floral we are
they already borrowed from us. We saw that Ankara look out there, Emmys and everything, and so I think we let it go. It's coming back.
Yeah, Rihanna was actually at the White House the other day in some kitenge.
Yeah, she was wearing the Ankara that Stevens is talking about. Yeah, but I mean, we've seen Solange wear it, we've seen Beyonce wear it, we've seen quite a number of celebrities in the West pull it off as well. Okay, so apart from fashion, what else should we look forward to in the Pulse?
Like I said, many stories. We have the spotlight on Amelina right there next to you, and we know about her big show that's coming on Sunday, and she's launching our debut album.
She's not going to be alone though.
No, she's not going to be alone.
She's going to be with a friend of hers,
a very
good
friend.
rapper, very
boyfriend,
creative.
Yes. And they have a thing there now. They've made it public that Amelina and Calvo Mysteri have something going on, and they'll be launching the album
going on, right?
And they have a collab.
That's what you're talking about.
Let's talk about the collab.
And it's a great day, and what the mood of the story is that she says I've been here since Tusker Project Fame, and I was not in a hurry to release this album because I wanted to find my sound and I wanted to find where my music could be taking me, and that's why she took so long.
Can we almost say that she's the most successful out of the TPF?
Well,
I think that's rather subjective.
Yeah,
one might look at Valerie Kimani, for example, and say that she strides ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, for crying out loud, she's doing daily shows
and you know,
in Las Vegas.
And I wouldn't even know
with a band
consistently.
But you know, we have to give her a little bit more credit because the likes of Valerie actually won. You know how she did not win the TPF thing, but I think out of the stable, she's one who's really pushed her music in the shortest time possible.
Wow.
I guess
she's very visible.
I think that's unfair because you're forgetting the likes of Wendy Kimani, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who launched?
We also have to give it up to Wendy. Wow, it's arguable. It's arguable.
By then solo, that's strike two.
No. Calvo is my boy. Yeah.
The other good bit that comes out of the story is the fact that she says Kenyan artists always wait for you to be told go and perform in a given show. And they say then that's why we put in our own concerts. As we launch this, we don't have to wait for somebody to say come and play during our concert and stuff like that. And I found that quite unique. And so yes, looking forward to Amelina and our friends.
Stevens, do you think we're going to see more artists put up their own shows and concerts in the way that Elani put up their show last week? It was massive. So do we see potentially something like that going on, being the trend? Because I, for example, would love to go for a concert and watch nothing but Kenyan artists. Yeah.
It's a mood that Amelina is trying to pull out and says we need to see more of this. And she captures Elani in that because I think what you're talking about, what happened on Saturday, was a great show, but the problem is you want to do this and the financial constraints that come with it sort of stop you from achieving a dream. But I think we're gonna have a lot of this. I think Kenyans are now pushing their own brand as artists. To launch their own.
But do we see more corporates coming in to support the music industry? I can think off the top of my head, Safaricom sponsoring in a very heavy way, Coca-Cola with Coke Studios. Are we seeing them rallying behind artists and pushing them and their music, or is it just a passing cloud?
If the artists can prove themselves.
Yeah, I think with the proper packaging and proper branding and all that, then the corporates have always been behind these Kenyan artists. That's for sure. You're an artist.
You're picking a good example, Eric, and his comedy show.
Yes. Eric Omondi, by the way, who is in the studio, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You better make us laugh. Eric, you best make me laugh.
It's coming up.
And that's the whole point. I mean, he's packaged his own art very well. And I believe everybody is coming home with $1 million, like, can you partner with me in this? And I think that's what Kenyan artists need to do.
Okay.
Don't just wait for somebody to come and tell you, can you come up with something? We just need to organize ourselves.
Okay, speaking of organizing ourselves, our hip-hop artists seem to be doing just that. And I think this is your, what do you call it, your feature story?
It is a second feature, yes.
On pages 18 and 19, hip-hop is not dead. Why do people keep saying hip-hop is dead then?
Solo.
Yes. I guess it's hip-hop artists have always been complaining for the longest time I could ever imagine. But it's how they package themselves, and now a couple of artists have come, stepped up and said that, hey, what's up, hip-hop is still alive, we're raking big cash, with the likes of Octopizzo, Rabbit, Calligraph Jones, who's a newcomer, people like Christoph, and they're saying that, there's a time that we came from an era of Kalamashaka, you remember, and then something happened.
There was nothing else at that time.
Exactly.
Kalamashaka was so
exactly. And Kalamashaka was massive, and the music is something we'll still listen to date. Okay, but there's an era that something happened and it looked like hip hop went under. Okay, and hip-hop artists were not being recognized, they were not getting shows. It looked like...
You mean the hip-hop scene in Kenya?
In Kenya, okay. It looked like you had to be too rugged to be hip-hop, or you had to be too ratchet and broke and from the slum and hard and all that. But they're saying that hip-hop is still alive, is still corporate, and these are some of the artists who are making it big.
Okay,
yes.
But I have a very specific question. If you look at artists like, what's his name, the African Bantu, and if you compare his sound and his music to Octopizzo, they're very diverse.
They're diverse.
Yeah, and it should appear that Octopizzo is making more commercial success compared to... what's his name? The African Bantu?
Bamboo.
Bamboo,
yes.
yeah. Why is that? Do we not like hearing a Western sound?
No, what happens is, if you follow the tracks of the likes of Octopizzo, you'll have to realize that they kept it consistently. Okay, so it's not about the sound that you're playing right now. It's how consistent are you? How do you create your fan base? Because the problem is when you start saying I need to create a different sound, and then you lose people in the middle of doing that. But consistency really helps. And
when you talk about the African band, you're talking about K-South.
Yes, we're talking about K-South. People who've been there for
Kalamashaka, everybody liked.
Yes.
And I think the young brand of fans we have in the music are very young people who can relate with what would be the commercial hip hop right now, and that's why the likes of Rabbit, the likes of Octopizzo, as much as they came from that slum sort of setting, their sound is not all that kind of we just underground artists.
Yes.
I think it's working for
Sophia, are you a hip hop fan? Can you name 3 hip hop artists in Kenya?
Clueless, by the way.
Just look at your screen and name them.
I've heard of Rabbit right now.
Octopizzo is another one. Let me help you.
And Wangeshi. Okay, we're also seeing, interestingly, female rappers coming up very strongly.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing for the industry. Because I think even in the R&B industry, Kenyan industry, it was still not so active. So even seeing Kenyan female MCs, rappers, it's a plus for the industry.
She was in an accident.
Yes.
Is she okay now?
Yes, now she's much better. She's
okay.
What's the difference between a rapper and an MC?
An MC is largely somebody who can just
who can turn up the crowd.
And you can pull rhymes at any time.
Yeah.
You
so
are
someone who freestyles, basically.
Like that. A rapper, you'd be that guy who
has to write your lines.
Concert and forgot the lines, and you're thinking, wait a minute, get me off the stage. I forgot the lines.
Okay, so guys, have you heard? There is a TV girl who is demanding her boyfriend, who is allegedly a politician, to be taken to the Dubai Sevens. I really like how sensational the gossip page is.
It's too late.
Like TV girl demands for Dubai 7th Street.
It's too late now. She can't make it to Dubai 7th.
Oh yeah, it's too late right now.
How do you know if she didn't make it?
Because I know she's there. We follow it.
You guys always have a TV girl story. When do these TV girls have how many stories?
TV girls are an attraction. Sophia, you're an attraction. And my sister is an attraction.
My name is Edith, by the way.
That's the difference between a rapper and an MC.
I'm keeping it together for us. And everybody likes them. because they are good. I mean, they are the screen girls and stuff like that, and
they're easy targets.
they have many fans and stuff like that. I think you guys should explain better why you are such a magnet to these people. But yes, this is one example of the story that she wanted to go to Dubai because she discovered her friends were going to Dubai for Dubai Sevens, and this guy was going, and she didn't have a ticket. So things are like this now. I think she'll come for something sevens in Kenya now, Nairobi.
Okay, so that's just one of the stories that's on Overheard, the gossip page on page 23. But there's a lot more, including, if this tickles your fancy, how much Jaguar was paid for the KCB Prepare deal. Nyotandogo's husband in next week. If
and Shafi saying, I don't give a damn about 2 Chainz anymore. I'm going for my 47 hours.
Which is now a big story, I think.
48 parties in 48 hours.
48 hours, yeah.
But that must stop being fun at some point.
What was that?
No, 48 parties in 48 hours. I don't think you can be like, life of the party. By the time you're even getting to party.
Oh, come on, Sophia.
What is the King? Is
48
it's like
parties.
your own wings.
Yes.
Yeah,
48 parties.
people, yeah.
Shafi did that last year.
48 hours.
Many other guys.
No, he did it for more. Was it 48 parties in 48 hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was still the same.
They stopped counting at 48.
Yeah.
Are you willing to pull a move then?
Actually, shall we challenge you now that you're going on leave? This is something interesting for
This
you
is
to
something
do.
you should try and find out if it's boring or not.
Did y'all imagine I had not planned for
Solo
my
can
leave?
come behind with water, like dehydrate, go, let's go.
I think I'd kill the party. Just now thinking about 48 hours. You know how he's the life of the party, I'll be the death of the party.
Sophia, you're already tired just thinking about the 48 parties.
Yes, I am. But hey,
okay, but Stevens, explain to me, because I don't follow this entertainment scene very closely, why it's so important that Shafi said, okay, I don't care about 2 Chainz.
You follow the showbiz, I mean, scene a lot, and I think you're one of the best who is that behind the scenes, and you know what's going on and what's not going on. But you just know about 2 Chainz and the float party that was supposed to be.
That was the Jameson party that
a month and a half ago.
Yes.
And Shafi was supposed to MC, and we know that Kiss was heavily involved in it. And the thing is, the organizers, together with the guys who are doing the middleman kind of a thing, kept on lying to Shafi and team that this guy was actually coming until this guy is called and discovered this guy is having his drink somewhere. And that really was a heartbreaker.
You don't remember the tweet put out by Shafi? Even Wilson mocked it on Mock the Week.
No, I do remember that. It's just I was wondering why it's such a big deal if Shafi decides he's not going for
He's actually just making a date with someone else. Just making a date with someone else.
And the big deal is that Akon is going to be in town at the same time, and he says, I can hang out with my blood brother here.
Yeah, because 2 Chainz are supposed to perform in Kenya on the 12th of December. So I think he's ditching that for Akon.
So he's still coming?
Yes. 2 Chainz is said to be coming.
He's been updating that he's coming. I don't know if it's him updating or someone else.
But I don't. Do you think it will still do well in terms of guys had prepared to go? There's been such a huge campaign around his performance and coming to the country. That didn't happen, and it was so embarrassing for the organizers. And then now he comes. Do you think it will still fly?
Well, the thing is that the tickets are already out there. So the numbers who are gonna attend, the tickets are already out there.
Yeah, but now there's more things to do, more places to see.
Yeah, it's December, honey.
Talking about
Untamed.
Talking about people to meet, I want to give one away, and today is a big day for the comedian lady. And I want to mention teacher.
She can marry.
Yeah.
Your clues are
somebody who's having a wedding, which is sort of a mafia wedding. That is called the white wedding.
The mafia wedding.
The white wedding.
Yeah, you know the white wedding.
Yes, I know the white wedding.
Yeah.
No, we don't. That's why we're looking at
Teacher,
you so
Mwalimu.
clueless.
Teacher.
Yeah.
So she's getting married today.
She's getting married today. You know what I'm talking about, the comedian teacher.
Yes, I do know about that.
It's been a big story in town. Basically this week, I know of a security meeting that was sitting a day ago, and they decided everybody who's coming to this wedding, and they're marked. If you're coming to my wedding, one, you're carrying your phone and you're not taking selfies at all. No media is allowed in this.
They're really trying to put it under wraps and in private. They're trying to ensure that maximum privacy will be.
It is.
So they're going to take away people's phones?
No photos.
No photos at all. Whether you're taking selfies or...
There will be photos. That's
you know.
People will do selfies at a certain corner, designated.
And I think they don't even they don't even have a bridal party at all because they wanted to keep everything secret and stuff like that. We heard about the other girl who is probably the problem in this. Wanted to commit suicide and said, "Oh, this is too hard for me." And I think it's a story that's gonna be very big over the weekend and as today moves on.
Well, we look to see what happens, but what I say to that, to each his own. If you want to have your wedding underground, if you want to have it in space, do you, boo-boo, do you.
Do you.
Yeah, well, we take a short commercial break. Oh no, I wish we had time for more DJ Genius. But when we come back in the Nairobian, apparently we do. When we come back, how devil's advocate killed family. We're looking at the Nairobian and the sad story of Peter Magu. And of course, as you know, with the Nairobian, there's always that extra thing, that extra detail that you're not going to find in any other place. And Solo is going to be talking to us about that. So stay tuned. If I were you, I would not even move from my couch. Just stay where you are. We'll be right back. I love that song. If you're just joining us, welcome to KTN's Morning Express. We are going through the hot topics this morning with Triple S, as they call themselves, private club.
We are open for booking.
So what do we call her now?
I'm just, Edith is fine. Trust me, guys. Imagine Edith is fine. Edith
S for
works.
E.
So for today.
It's going to be S for E.
You can call me Edith today and tomorrow and the day after.
No. As part of the group, you know.
I think she wants to stay solo.
Yeah.
She's Beyonceing us. Sour too.
And DJ Genius,
right.
of course, who has been giving you those lovely tunes throughout the morning. And so it's time to look at the Nairobian.
Yeah, I like the way you say the Nairobian.
The Nairobian.
It is the Nairobian.
Solo, talk to us about the story on the front page today. How devil's advocate killed family. This story has been in the main dailies for a while now, this entire week actually.
Yes.
So what is different in the Nairobian? What are you telling us?
Well, this is where now some of the people who are very close to this family, Magu's family, speak up, including the mother, the house girl, and one of his best friend, who was his best man as well in the wedding. And they're speaking about various things. Some of them including that ever since he was in campus, since he was a law student at Parklands, and his best man says he does not remember any day when he was a religious man. So this is just a new turn of events, how he joined the cult. And another thing also is when the police confiscated his passport, it had been stamped about over 20 times of him having visited Nigeria. And apparently he was going to Prophet TB Joshua, the Nigerian billionaire, church services. And TB Joshua denies the allegation, saying that a lot of people visit his church from all parts of the world.
Okay, so did he actually say that he knows or knew?
Well, what TB Joshua has said is that he's had a lot of allegations, and his name has been mentioned a lot in the Kenyan dailies. So he put on his social media page saying, denying all those allegations, saying he didn't have any relations with him. He did not know who they were, and he says all he knows is that a lot of people come to his to be part of his congregation in church, and he would not know.
Okay. Yes. I think the best thing for anyone to do who's interested in this story is just grab themselves a copy of the Nairobian.
But this was a very, very sad story. I mean, looking at the photos of those three kids.
I know. It's just completely heartbreaking. Really bleeds. Yeah, it does. And so all the details are on page 4. I don't think there's any way to truly explain to anyone what the details are. They have to just
grab
go
a copy.
Yeah, because there's a novel as well that was found, and they're saying that perhaps he was, enacting what it is, part of the details from that novel he'd read, and part of how this gruesome murders were conducted or carried out. So
I like the details that come out of the Nairobian in this story, because they just talk about how the alleged act was executed, and how the house girl was sent several times
to the shop,
far to the shops, to town to fetch something, and she comes back. It's a very moving story. She comes back and asks, so where's the mother of the house?
Yeah, she's told
stuff like that, and you can feel it in the story that this was really evil. I mean, by all standards.
Okay, well, page 4 is where that story is. I don't think I want to spend more time on it, just because the nature of it.
Yes, and it's been there for too long, I guess.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But the Nairobian has really exposed a lot of things. Even the mother speaks out at some point.
And says, it talks about people who came over to him and made him a cult guy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a story that was it was about time to explode, and I don't know why sometimes we just wait for things to go to this level.
Exactly.
We just think, and a lot of this.
And even for the first time, we also have the photos of their house.
Yeah, of
you know,
their
we
house
have the
side.
living room, we have the prayer room, we have the SQ, which had been turned into a church. I guess people should just grab the Nairobian and have
Yes,
a
let
whole
everybody
story.
do that.
Okay. There's also something else which is interesting that I've seen here. Prostitute wives. The Nairobian sensational. Why Coast men are using their women to trap men for easy money sex con games.
That's on page 9.
Yes. Can you just tell me what is going
Now,
on in
this
this
is a story
story?
that's happening in Mombasa, and specifically in Kwale. And what they're saying is that when families or couples are caught being adulterous, what is happening now in Kwale is that they are actually asking you to pay a fine. So if you are my wife and who's cheating?
Solo, you've just really turned to Sophia very quickly.
Okay, so let's just turn the context. Okay, let's go back. So what happened?
Is this a story for the Nairobian?
If she was, it's a good wish. No.
TV girl.
So what
and
happens is
Nairobian
if someone catches my wife cheating, what they do is they penalize that guy and they ask for like a goat or something. So they pay the clan some in monetary terms, and then they give me in terms of probably domestic gain or something like
Unakulia.
that. Unakulia. So what the men are doing in Kwale is they're not stopping their wives from being adulterous. They're even encouraging them. You know, na ule jirani anakuangalianga aje siwende uone anataka aje. You understand? So what they're doing is that they're getting
a bizarre story. It cannot be real.
It sounds like
so some men have realized that my wife can actually go sleep, get caught, and then we gain.
What?
but Solo, it's not
so
just Kwale
weird.
alone, because we have had cases where guys, even Nairobi, and we had the pastor story the other day, where guys are trapped by organized groups, whether it's your wife or your girlfriend or a clan or somebody's mission of that evil plan.
Yes,
that we can trap Solo because Solo has some few millions in the bank. Yeah. And then we just find you naked and there you are.
It's basically a sex trap. It's basically just a sex trap. So and they're using it a lot.
Sophia,
It's
how is this a
crazy.
real story?
It's crazy, and it's part of what this says, that it's not just in Kenya. And it talks about Samantha Lethwaite, the white widow that clad in a buibui and a veil. That is the image that was splashed my media houses. I just think it's bizarre. Lazy Kwale men pimp their wives for cash.
I like that. The lazy. They're like,
It's a very funny story, but amazingly, it's true. It's happening.
Yeah, I really think the Nairobian should change their tagline. The Nairobian, the newspaper that leaves your jaw down.
It's just ironic how Kwale is Indiani, where a lot of money is, and now the lazy ones who are ABCD and stuff.
Oh gosh, so anyway, that very bizarre story and all the details, which I can't wait to dig my hands into, is on page 9. I just can't believe that this is something that's happening for real, for real. So do tell us, what more should we expect in the Nairobian today?
There's another interesting
Before
story.
you go there, don't skip page 2.
Oh, our favorite page.
Oh, you were waiting, I thought.
Yes, I was just waiting. I'm seeing you turning and leaving it behind.
Okay, Sophia, then take us through page 2.
No, 10 reasons your Mheshimiwa sticks out like a sore thumb. So there's always just like 10 interesting things on the second page of the Nairobian. So they're ridiculed, they they make good subjects for comedy shows.
Yes. And I specifically love number 5, Mpangwa Kando Love. It's almost apparent like all politicians now have a side chick.
No. But you know what? You guys are ruining the name of TV anchors.
By the way,
I'm
it's
seeing
too
here
much,
number 5,
TV
Mpango wa Kando Love. Some not so honorable members are known to lust after TV anchors and university lasses. Surely.
No. Lasting is true.
But how do you know this? I mean, do they sit down with you guys and tell you, oh yes, what
Yes,
we
it does
like
happen. Yes, it does
is
happen.
this group of women?
Yes, it does happen. It does happen.
Let me tell you why, and sometimes it's from a very innocent point for that TV girl we're talking about, whether it's Nairobian or the past, because Mheshimiwa knows if I know so and so, one, it's his profile.
Yeah,
End
it's
of the
my
day,
profile.
If he's
It goes
hitting on
high.
another girl in the street, whether she's a socialite, I know Edith. She's respected. She's a very able member of public and stuff
Yes.
like that. And two, I have access to everything, everywhere. I have an excuse, interviews and
it's
stuff
easy,
like
and
that.
it's easy to introduce.
And you can use your name.
It's also
everywhere.
very
I know
easy.
Edith and stuff like that. So it's not really the TV girl that every time he's running after Mheshimiwa could be running after her and stuff like that. So don't defend it.
I just think you need to be a little more specific because this blanket accusation, it's really not working for me.
Because then it's a
I'm feeling
bad
the defense.
and that's why you
defense in the studio.
that's why you find ordinary girls will even say, I don't want to date these TV girls because
Their reputation.
yes, and it's you guys who are fueling this.
It's if you look at the Mheshimiwa's phone book and stuff, you'll find
They're,
TV.
this
and
they're
that.
anchors. They're journalists. We talk to everybody.
But they
it's
speak to
business.
male anchors as well. Does
Yeah.
that mean that they are lasting over them too?
We look for Mheshimiwa, the female one now. Probably we just find it there's something
How
happening
to,
like that.
whatever this situation is, if you're going to talk about like your story there, TV girl, all the time, say who it is so that then we know.
Oh, you're feeling affected.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Stevens, watu wa
Something like
magazeti
that.
hawa.
Hao watu wa magazeti.
So 10 reasons and there, and there was another big story. Was it lifestyle?
Oh, that's way
Solo,
far.
you're doing really
Solo
badly
fast
today,
take
man.
it
No,
slow.
and then
Take
City
us-
Beauty,
take us there.
City Beauty on page 3. I love this one as well. We've unveiled some of these ladies in the music industry who've been there for the longest time, who still maintain that swag, that good look. A couple of them you can see there from Masimaira, Gloria Muliro, Wahoo.
Yeah.
You can grab on that one. Is on page 3. Have you got in the lifestyle story?
I'm on page 28 before we get back to Kate Muteza like gossip. I hope you don't find a TV girl talk there. The new sluts in town.
Yes.
Named
Whoa.
Austin and or David.
Yes. They
really
did
dig
themselves
them hard.
on this one
I was
because
with David the other day. He told me he'd be up and about, and he looked like he'd be digging
for this story.
The new sluts in town.
Yes, and these are not just any sluts. They're professional escorts who have been who are educated. They're super sexy. They're glamorous and all that. And then there's this story now talking about how they actually get into this kind of prostitution. You understand? When they come in, and they come from all over the country, not only Nairobi. They're coming from all over the country. Coming as
So
far
every
as-
county has a rep.
Yeah. We have a few representatives from every county who are coming in as escort girls, but then beneath it, there's some sexual favors that they give for monetary gain. And one of the lady here has been speaking how she can earn up to 7,000 a night.
And there are more,
7,000 a night.
there are more of this exclusive
7,000
things
a night.
as
I
well.
think they make
Exclusive house parties.
7,000 a night besides the other luxuries that she wanted to have. If she wanted to have a good drink, good meal, going to a spa, great treatment, everything. So this is over and above that.
So I think that's underrated. When you think of what these guys are making, I just saw another story, still in the Nairobian. Guys have to grab the paper and find out where all those stories are about these girls in LD, where there's the harvest.
Yes.
And they moved from Narok to Eldoret.
Hot season.
It's the hot season and there's
Yes.
money in Eldoret
Yes.
town.
Or the red
And
season.
all these guys have moved there. I'm told everywhere is booked and stuff like that.
Yes.
It was Nairobian.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it's known as the oldest trade in the world. And so this oldest trade in the world is evolving, and
It's
the
still
details are
there.
on page 28. But I want us to go back to page 14 for yet another bizarre story, because God forbid if there was no bizarre stories. Langata Cemetery is full. Cremate me, please.
So that-
High funeral expenses and land
Jay.
scarcity are slowly pushing city dwellers to embrace cremation, a practice traditionally associated with Hindus.
Yep.
Talk to me about this, because this is not the first time I'm hearing it, and there were also claims and allegations and rumors that we now have a situation where people are being buried
On top
No,
of
top of each
yeah,
other,
on top of each
yeah.
other, not 6 feet under. Well, it's been happening. You know, the city council announced this on about in 2008, I guess. In 2008, they said that the cemetery is officially packed, and then they don't have so much space. So the official allocation was actually cut into half so they can accommodate for more. It even went into a scandal. I remember that was the time when the former mayor was impeached or something because of a certain purchase in Mavoko.
The Mavoko land.
Yeah,
I
that was in
remember that. 300
2010.
acres.
Yeah, about 300 acres. Now what they're saying is they're actually trying to plead with the Kenyans, instead of burying their people, to cremate them because they don't have space, they don't have land at the cemetery, at the Langata cemetery. So what the city council has done, it has sliced down the price of cremation, you know, to very, very affordable figures, so that to encourage people, instead of going for a burial, they go for cremation.
Okay,
yes.
There's a question I have here, and I'm not trying to trivialize or minimize death in any way, but it says it lists the prices for permanent graves and temporary graves. What is a temporary grave?
I guess a temporary grave is the one...
You know that somebody else will be buried there as well.
Temporary grave is the one that is not sealed. You get it? Permanent grave is where you actually cement it and everything.
Concrete.
But a temporary grave is you just put the heap of soil and then you plant your flowers. So what happens is someone else can actually come and dig and put someone.
And now they tell you when you're going to pay, because one of the reports, I think I saw it in the papers the other day, the family saying that yes, they went, they had this amount of money, so they were told yes, you're going to get one of those, where then you can't come and do the whole concrete thing on top, and you know,
you cannot fence it. You know, if you go to the cemetery, you see that some people have actually fenced the whole place. They've secured it.
What do you think of the ones who book place, like buy a whole section, like for family members?
We have guys doing that, by the way.
And
it's,
the guys who
that is another
buy an entire area.
Yeah, they buy and it's made for that family.
It's bizarre, but I think it's their own decision. It's different people. We've seen people buying coffins. We've seen people dig their own graves and setting it and waiting to die.
What do you mean, like
for digging and buying coffins?
Yeah, I mean, death is one of those topics that have, for some reason or the other, become taboo in most African cultures.
As much as we need to plan.
As much as we need to plan, and there are people who say that every day you wake up is a day closer to death. So hey, depending on which side of the spectrum you're looking at it from. But I'm also seeing still on that, very quickly, Solo, to cremate fast before the villagers come.
Yeah, what happens is, and if you look down there, we're looking at celebrating the dead when five-star funerals land in 0-star villages. What they're trying to say here is, when someone passes on, you do the cremation very fast so that even the relatives go before they know. You say tushamaliza hiyo maneno. Because some people just want to come and mourn, and it becomes an expensive affair. You know, relatives want to come and mourn with you people, and nowadays burials and funerals, and that's why people are opting so much to bury in the city and even cremate. It's because it's become a very, very expensive affair.
Wow.
It's become a very, very expensive affair.
Tell us, what else should we look at?
My other favorite
Heads Up. Let's go to Heads Up.
I'm seeing her.
Yes.
Kate Mukay. Yeah. I'm very scared to open this page because Kate
Let me see another TV girl.
She has a beautiful story.
Kate sits next to me in the office. I have to tell the audiences, and every time her screen is just turned. No one ever knows what she's working on. She's always like, is very,
You only see it on Friday on page 23 and Heads Up, yeah?
And here she is with Kate Mukay. What's the vibe in the city? She asks.
Wow.
I like this. Julie Gishuru praises Habi on anniversary. I follow her on Instagram, and the past, I think it's 2 weeks, she'd been posting pictures of her and Habi. I mean, of course, you know, there's been all kinds of stories about, you know, allegations on their relationship. And even in the past, she's written about it on blogs on how happy she is. He treats her like a flower. So they've been married 11 years?
About 16 years. About 16 years.
They've been together for 16 years, but married.
They got married in 2003.
Yes.
So that's about 11 years.
That's 11 years. Yeah. So and there's Habi. So good TV girl story.
Yeah. Good TV girl story.
See, former Miss Kenya stuck in Macha traffic for 12 hours.
This one, Damba, can you tell us
this one I escaped.
Yes.
you know about the traffic on Sunday, Monday, because of the pileup, because of the 2 trucks that had the road. And this is a story because we had gone down to Machakos. And I think you're part of this group
as well.
We had gone to Machakos for charity.
Yeah.
Basketball and
for
stuff.
charity.
And because I'm a long distance, this guy, I made it through that and got myself home. And there's other big story that Kate brings out is the other story Paz was talking about, Diamond and Zari, the girl from Uganda.
Yes.
They hit Channel all together. He didn't go with Wema. And I think that is a story that's been around East Africa all throughout the week.
Okay, I want us to also look at page 34. Fans raised 4 million shillings in 1 hour to pay the
Yes.
medical bills of Shirua GP. Shirua GP, she's a gospel artist.
She's a gospel artist.
Yes.
Her official names are Mary Wanjiru, and you remember she had she was in the process of actually delivering her twins. It got too complicated. She lost one of the babies, and well, she managed to still have one. And there's a time that her hospital bill went so high, because immediately after that she got into some complications. And when she made an appeal, I remember even the president donated 1 million shillings for her in this one. And she's talking about the whole story in Turning Point, where we focus on when someone goes down and the turning point of coming back.
Another good story.
Some good news.
Some very, very good
Some inspiring story.
Yeah.
Nairobian is all about inspiring people.
No, there's a time, I tell you, Edith, every Friday we'll talk about witchcraft stories. Like the Nairobian was on a mission, my friend.
To eradicate witchcraft. They need to tell us how they know
I thought it was like a special desk at the Nairobian, the witchcraft corner.
Yeah, okay.
You need to know that the Nairobian has a very, very great team that is very organized.
This is like
own research.
best selling.
Anything we say is purely legit.
Okay, and as we wrap up this review, volleyball queens. These girls are very popular, and now you want to tell us about how the experience abroad is.
Yes, you know they're
what
well
they miss
traveled.
about home.
Yes. And
Why Kenyan men
a
measure up?
lot of men go and watch the volleyball games.
Yeah, watch the girls.
Watch the girls,
Yes.
especially the
Yes.
girls. The girls team is very popular.
They watch
very
the
very
girls,
popular.
they watch the
And so
girls,
now
not the ball.
so now the girls are talking about you know, their trips abroad. They're opening up about their relationships. They're talking about their social life and all that. People most of them are cops, huh? Most of
Yeah,
them are
you can-
beautiful
you can
cops.
see
You
half,
can
yeah.
see them right there.
But why are you saying that like it's a crime to be beautiful and to be a policewoman?
And to be
Most
Yeah,
of them,
some
most
of
of
them
them
actually,
are.
yeah.
Most of them
most
are.
cops.
You say that surprise, like they're actually beautiful.
It's hard to get a beautiful cop.
They work.
What?
They work.
Yeah,
with,
it's really hard to
they
get
work
a
with
beautiful cop.
Kina Linda and
Yeah,
the rest.
trust me.
Yeah, it's just
No,
a few beautiful
there
cops. Have you ever seen a beautiful traffic cop?
Ah, there are many
Yes.
now.
They're always
Yeah.
annoying and looking like they want to tell
Where
you.
does this guy live now?
Yeah, well.
It
The
looks
next,
like.
the next time you're arrested.
I don't think both of you would pass to be cops
And why not?
Why not?
because
It's a
they're
job.
beautiful.
Oh,
Oh
no.
my goodness.
You're being so
No,
nasty.
you have offended so many people on so many
Yeah.
levels right now.
Guys, I
don't
don't know
even
him
need to get
anymore.
into a tirade.
So,
Yeah,
It's
we
fine.
have delinked ourselves
we
from
don't
those
know him.
comments
That
completely.
is a sexist comment rooted in a man who is privileged.
Well, that's how I see it. I don't know. I try to look at them different.
Okay,
You need to come with me. We need to do a round in town.
I'm kicking him
and
off the set
yeah,
now.
but-
I'm officially kicking him off
and
the
then
set.
we can clean you out.
But I must say the volleyball queens are beautiful girls, and now they're speaking up even about their relationships as well.
Okay, well, that story is on page 46 of the Nairobian. So we've literally gone, it looks as though we've done cover to cover, but there's still so many stories.
so many.
And
And
they're
the
so
dates,
interesting.
yeah.
What we've just touched on is just the tip of the iceberg, trust me. You think you've seen everything on the big stories, and then you look at a small column and you're like, say what now?
It's explosive.
And so those are the details of the Nairobian this week. Grab it on your stands. Remember to also get yourself a copy of the Pulse magazine, which you will get once you get yourself a copy of the Standard newspaper.